Jersey.
It's live.
Hey, it's
Last call.
Last call reunion.
call.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Welcome, everybody.
Happy Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yes.
Beautiful day out today. Beautiful day.
Oh, my gosh. Perfect.
Weather's starting
Perfect,
to finally
perfect.
turn around. We're starting to have more nice days than bad days as opposed to all the rain with the occasional nice day.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a little scary, though, because I think people get a sense of comfort with the warmth, and so I think it's accelerating the reopening process. People are like, well, it feels great out. Let's all go out. So I think it's an interesting combination. Strangely, I think the bad weather for the first month or so of the quarantine probably helped because it was so miserable out.
Nobody wanted to go
right?
outside.
So
That's a good point.
now that it's really nice and people are starting to open up, we're going to start
We
seeing.
got to start with
Yeah.
drink.
So beer.
So, yeah, we start every episode the same as always with a beer. Today, it's a new beer that we got on draft. You can buy in a growler. Battery Steele, triple dry hop, Avalon.
Yeah.
It's on number 3.
We already sold it. We already sold a growler of it today.
Yeah. So
good
this
stuff.
is it's a pretty good IPA.
We
from
love the
these guys
brewery.
out of Portland, Maine. Battery Steel is
We love their
a
stuff.
little
they're
hard
from
to
Portland?
find. Yeah.
Yep.
A little hard to find around these parts,
I
but
love Portland so much.
they are a superb brewery, in my opinion.
Yeah, we've had Flume is one of their. I mean, if you get a chance to ever get Flume, it's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
This is the same.
Same
Same
brewery.
guys who make Flume.
This is the guys
Oh.
who make Flume.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
You guys were up there, right?
We had a friend of ours, one of Sargon's very best friends, dropped us off a couple cans of Flume yesterday.
Thank you, Brian. Yes, you did.
And it was awesome. We all were blown away.
Just
Super
to get
fresh.
ready for this guy. And
Yep.
so this guy is going to be extremely hop forward. It's triple dry hop.
Triple dry hop.
It's hoppy.
So
it's
what's
good.
that mean? Is that going to add more alcohol to it, or is that just adding more flavor?
Well, so the hopping process is really strange. So, I mean, it used to be that there was a little bit of hops that got put in the boil, and it would kind of, the oils would stick around some of the flavors, and you'd get that, and it was a preservative in the beer. They used it as a mild flavor enhancer, and then it preserved the beer. But people started to like the flavor of hops, and then hops can be added. You can put it anywhere. You can put it in the boil. You can put it when you're fermenting it. You can dry hop it afterwards when you're storing it. You can dry hop it again. For a while there, you don't see it much anymore, but when the West Coast IPAs were in their heyday, you could go into bars and you'd see like a big glass container full of fresh hops, and the beer was coming off the tap and going through the hops, and they were pouring it. And they changed that hops out like every day. So there's all, Dogfish Head did their continually hopped beer, which means they hop it all the time. They hop it from the
I
very
saw a
beginning.
video
all
of
the way
the very first time where they had that like 60-minute, the 60-minute hop
to- yeah, IPA.
IPA.
Yes.
Well, what they did, they had one of those old. It was a game that actually Sean and I had when we were kids. It was a hockey game that you would put the magnets on and it would vibrate.
It would vibrate.
And you'd have like the blue team, you'd have the red team, and then you'd like kind of watch them go and they'd knock each other over.
Yeah.
And so they had taken this thing and they'd rigged it. They had a PVC pipe that came down and it had that hockey game here.
Yep.
And the hops would feed in and it would go like this and continually
drop hops
and
into
the
the
hops
tank.
would drop over. That was like when they were doing it at home. Because they,
Yeah,
they
I
figured out
want to I want to say it made it all the way to the brewery.
I think it did,
they
to, like,
used
the
that.
first brewery.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
a while. So,
But
That-
so
that's
All right,
awesome.
so let's taste this.
Triple dry hopped. Here we go. Battery Steel, Avalon.
cheers. Hope you guys have your beers.
Cheers.
yeah, it's a lot going on.
Yep. So extremely hop forward, like I said.
Wow, that's actually really good.
Yeah, very citrusy up front.
Yeah,
That's
and it
really cool, actually.
Finishes with that
big hop thing in the back.
hop thing at the end.
Yep. Yeah, it sneaks. It's a little sneaky. It starts off like it's going to be more of an East Coast IPA. It starts off some citrus and
Yeah.
cloudy and so on, and then all that dry hopping, the hops start to show up pretty quick, and then it dries out and dries your tongue out a
But
little
still,
bit.
right now, I've got like a lot of
It's a little oil.
citrus and
Yep.
like grapefruity sort of stuff.
If you
Yep.
if you like East Coast and West Coast IPA, this is a really nice one.
Yep.
If you gravitate just towards the more like classic, slightly sweeter, fruitier East Coast IPAs, this one's got a little bit more of the hops at the end. like
That's
most.
true. What
So.
what's the ABV?
That is a good
It's-
question.
Is it a double?
Well, that's what
I
I'm
believe
like,
it's a double. I believe it's around 7.2%.
Yeah.
Let me double check.
was
I
just
feel like
thinking-
Battery Steel, at least the stuff we've got. I'm sure they make all kinds of beer, but most of the stuff we've got has been pretty powerful.
7.5%.
Yeah, so
ABV.
it gets
Imperial
up
is a
into the double
IPA.
Imperial doubles.
I knew I was close, but
Cool.
so
that's
that
good.
is on. You can get it for growlers for $35 here at Reunion.
Awesome.
Um,
And you get to keep the glass. So
Battery
that
Steel or
includes
battery.
Battery Steel.
My brother said he likes my shirt, and then Kat's saying that she's watching Dynamite. So every Wednesday I always rep AEW. Fun little wrestling show that they. It's on TNT. It's a good time. Watch that after this. So
We had a customer who picked up in the lobby and had the jacket on.
I'm telling you, it's getting huge.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for this name. You'll see it in a couple
Cool.
years. If you're not watching already.
Yeah. Talk about a menu item?
Yes, we always do a food item next after the
typically
beer.
do.
Today, what do we have?
So this is our salmon entree. So we've had salmon on the menu since we opened, and it's always been a huge seller. We sell it as a side, so you can get any of our salads with salmon on it. But we also sell it as an entree. We've mixed it up a little bit over the years. Right now, we're doing it with 2 veggies. So it's an 8-ounce fillet of salmon. It's fresh salmon. It's great. Wild caught, I believe. I think it is. The supply chain is a little screwed up right now, so we might be getting a slightly different product. But it's very good. I have had it recently. And we're doing it with roasted potatoes and broccoli right now.
Or Brussels sprouts.
Or we can do it with Brussels sprouts. You know, or squash.
I'm gonna have one.
Yeah,
Potatoes are really, really good.
So, you know, the veg might change from time to time. Again, it depends on what kind of produce we can get and so on. But we're trying to keep it pretty much standard like this. But just always ask if you call or if you look online, it might have the options updated.
It
So-
usually does.
Yeah. Well,
might,
if we
it
get
will.
if we get a veg, we run out of a veg like mid shift or something.
Oh, I see.
So we always cook our salmon to a medium, which I think is the right way to do it, and the majority of people that like salmon do eat it that way. Which means it's never raw, but it's definitely got a little bit of a pink hue in the center of it.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah, it's very good. I love our salmon. That's the stuff we get normally. That's no change
Oh, the
there.
broccoli's good. The potatoes are good.
From day one, we've always had good salmon.
This
Yeah.
is super hard.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a buttery dish. It's salmon's. You know, if you like salmon, you like salmon.
It's salmon.
It's a good one.
I hope you like salmon too. It's salmon. It's salmon.
Awesome. It's good.
I'll have some salmon with you.
Josh is going to ruin all your favorites. Whoa.
Sit over there. I'll eat some more later.
COVID-19, salmon.
Yeah, and if anyone ever has questions about food, and
COVID-19.
that one was stuck in my head for a little while.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This one will be too. Trust me. You'll be saying salmon, 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 salmon.
Well, what kind of drink would you make if you were singing a salmon song?
So
Something
for
pink?
me, I'm something summery. Today was a sunny day. I'm standing here, so that means I'm the bartender today. So
Yeah.
I like our pomegranate lime Rickey.
Oh.
That is a drink that is made with gin, and we had always talk about having gin drinks. And
Yeah,
I'm not a
we
big
have
gin
had
guy.
it. We did a lot
I
of the
actually
show.
like that drink,
Yeah.
and I remembered it, and I'm like,
My wife loves it.
we're gonna do that tonight.
Yeah, that's probably one of Anna's go-tos when she comes in to hang out.
Pomegranate lime Rickey.
Our pomegranate lime Rickey.
All right, so I'm only gonna make.
Yeah, just make one. We'll taste it in shots. I don't
Yeah.
need a whole one.
Yeah, we'll
I already
we'll
have
hand them
two
out in
drinks
shots.
front of me.
So what we want to do
Pour
is,
those.
I'm gonna actually make it in this pint glass. Fill it up with some ice here. It's 1 ounce of gin.
Yeah,
You're making some for the whole family. You're
Yeah,
drinking for 3.
We're gonna make.
I mean, we're not
they
selling.
say.
We're not selling any mixed drinks right now, so we're waiting it. But this is our
Half
this
ounce
is our
Parma.
drink. Yep.
I think the calculations change a little bit with the
Half
COVID.
an ounce simple. Let's use the lime in here.
You got a
We'll get
fresh
some
lime.
fresh lime. How are we doing this? Like this?
No,
Nope.
other way.
Other way?
In there.
Put it in the bottom
Just
part,
that same direction.
Whoop. Sorry.
face down. Yep. So it's and then get your phone out of the way, 'cause it's gonna squeeze everywhere.
Hang on, where's
then-
the diploma again?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
When
the
does it expire?
The
Do you have
owner
a
of
month?
Drinkmaster is going to be so thrilled with me right now. Do we have cranberry juice in that fridge behind you?
I don't know.
No, there is some right there.
There's
though.
some behind me. All right.
All right, that looks pretty.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little bit of this guy right here.
All right.
Yeah.
So
then,
lime.
So we had, basically we're doing gin, Parma, lime juice, simple, cranberry juice, and we're going
Can
to,
you grab the palma for me?
yes. This is always a fun liqueur to use.
It is. Yeah. I remember. I think Chris
see it.
brought this in first time, right? Was this
Sure. Yeah, I don't know.
or maybe Gary, one of our
Let's talk about it
managers?
for a second.
Yeah. So it's a pomegranate liqueur. It's
Oh, high and high. Come on, that's no shake.
Because
That's
I don't
no
really
shake.
need to shake it.
It's
That's
more of a
all.
strain,
what do
right?
you mean? Why do you
It doesn't
of course
need
you
it-
Shake
it
that.
doesn't need to get broken up.
Of course it needs to be shaken. Yeah.
it's a
get
nice
some
liqueur.
Ice crystals in that thing.
It tastes like pomegranate. Doesn't taste artificial, doesn't taste weird.
And then
Like
normally,
some
so this
liqueurs.
is going to go in a double rocks glass, and it's
Yep.
going to go on the rocks.
Yep.
I've had pomegranate before,
Yeah.
and I've never felt like, how do you like juice a pomegranate? Like
So
they're
that-
not juicy in any way, shape, or form.
Well,
the ones
so
I've had.
yeah, what you do is you get the seeds out, and then they press the seeds, and there's juice. There's that little thin membrane. They look like little
And then
fish
you're going
eggs
to top
almost.
these off with soda water.
Yeah, top of the soda. There you go. Yeah, I mean,
And these would have
pomegranates
been
are-
rocks glasses that have ice in them. So
My daughter.
that's what,
I mean,
that
we all
would
like
have brought it
pom-
right to the top.
Yeah, there you go. My daughter loves pomegranates, so we get them at the house pretty regularly, and actually, my whole family likes them.
I like when you cut them open.
Yeah, they look like alien space like eggs or something. And it's always a pain in the ass to get the beads out. But what you do is you get a big soup bowl or big bowl, like a salad bowl, cut the thing in half, get a wooden spoon, and just whack it on the back with a wooden spoon.
My
and
dad,
all the stuff
my
comes
dad
out.
will sit there for 45 minutes and literally pluck the freaking
Yeah.
pomegranate.
Well, the big Greek and release.
Yeah.
Right, there's
He
a
was
lot of people just
he,
eat 'em.
He was going a time where he was having one a day.
Yeah.
In the morning, he was just like, yeah, this is what I
Well-
do. It's like a ritual for him.
I'm not sure they quite qualify as superfood, but I know there's a lot of good stuff in them. You know,
Yeah.
like
Well,
antioxidants
so,
and
so
stuff.
this is we're drinking a healthy drink.
This is a healthy drink.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
this
guys
is
should have told me.
this is like you know.
I mean, we got all those steps in today and a healthy drink.
Yes. So cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Speaking of steps, we went for a long walk today.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's
with
good.
with
That's
a bag
good.
of
Yeah,
sticks.
not a bad drink.
Not a bad drink.
But we got to go out and play golf today. It was fun. It was worth it.
It's awesome.
You know,
It was amazing.
It was beautiful weather.
Absolutely.
I'm a
So
little-
here's
I'm a
here's
little out
what
of
was
shape.
supposed to happen. Here's what happened.
Yeah.
We booked a tee time for 18 holes.
Yep.
We were so jacked up, ready to go. Can't wait for this day. It's gonna be awesome. And we already knew that we weren't gonna have carts, right?
Right.
So we're like, whatever, we're gonna walk.
we're
Not
fine,
a big
we'll
deal.
walk.
Whatever. Who cares? Like, just a little walk. And 9 holes. And we were like, all right, that was fun, everybody.
Well, you don't even have a walking bag. You got
Don't have to carry my.
yeah, you've got one of the a cart
Thank
bag,
God
like
for
a tour
Josh
bag.
and Paul to help.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I would have been like,
And I felt it.
Done.
We're at Blackstone, and it's not by no means the craziest course I've ever been on, but it's got some up and down.
All it made me realize is that we just got to do it more.
Yeah,
Let's just go do it some more.
yeah.
It'd be-
And carts will be around soon.
And
I
even
think.
if they're not, I would happily do that again.
Yeah.
I really, really, really enjoyed just being outside.
It's the furthest
It
I've been
was-
away
it
from
was-
here
yeah, it
since
was
it
really-
started.
It was beautiful out there.
Easy
It
to
was,
social
the
distance.
completely different world. They don't have we didn't do the checking in and stuff, but that wasn't really a big deal at all.
No, it was
we
great.
didn't. We walked up. They knew we were coming. They said, "Go on down," and that was it.
We didn't come in
Nobody
contact
played.
with any strangers at all.
No.
I mean, we saw people out on the course, but no one was. I mean, probably the nearest anyone
I mean,
got to
you
us
guys
was.
got a little stranger as the day went on. But I was kidding.
But
I
we're-
was just like,
So golf is it's a
Dead
very
tired.
easy place. Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's face it. I don't know if anyone's sleeping right nowadays, but I'm not sleeping a lot, so I was tired. I got 9 holes. I was done. I was
Yeah.
like, I could feel the dead weight in my
yeah,
legs.
18
I was
holes
like, the strap was cutting
with
into
a
my
cart
shoulder.
is nothing compared to 9 holes walking.
Yeah.
Like, if you have the roller, it's different. Right?
Yeah,
that,
right, I
that brings
carried
a
my
different
bag.
element. I think I could do 18,
Yeah.
but without it, man, oof.
But it was really fun.
That was a wake up call. As Paul said, this was the wake up call.
yeah. This was really good.
But it's so fun. Like even just going out and walking is so nice. But then you add the sport element to it, and
Yeah.
the little bit of the
Dude, I miss sports so much.
so
Yeah.
much. And I was thinking, like, what do you miss the most? Like, what are your top 5 favorite sports memories?
Top 5 favorite sports memories. Oh wow, that's like, wow. So you have to throw.
New England has so many,
Patriots
right?
first Super Bowl.
First Super Bowl
I
Patriots.
think
Gotta be.
that one, Vinatieri kicking the field goal, the
Yeah.
time running off the clock, amazing. One bad memory I have, and then one good memory. One bad was 2003, ALCS, Red Sox Yankees goes to Game 7. Pedro's up 5-2. Grady Little leaves him in the game, and the rest is history. Aaron Boone hits the home run, and when Aaron Boone hit that home run, and they won the game in the 12th inning, I still was like couldn't move.
Yeah.
We were staring at the TV, blank.
Look, did that just happen?
Because like we went 7 games to the 12th inning, we were gonna make it to the World Series.
Yeah.
Play the Florida Marlins. We were
Right.
gonna
We would
destroy
have won.
them.
Yep. But nope, didn't get a chance.
Nope.
Now, obviously,
that's
New
no
England
fun.
has had the greatest run in sports history.
Yeah. Well, so then a year later,
Yeah, I mean, they've
2004.
got all those badminton teams.
Yeah.
And
2004, the greatest comeback of all time,
Yeah.
and the ALCS, and then they win the World
Yeah.
Series. So, I would say those three memories right off the bat. Those are my three.
Yeah.
And if I have to have two more, Bruins Stanley Cup victory,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Celtics World Championship.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
wow.
I have
I went all easy ones.
Yeah, top memories, not necessarily good or bad, but for different reasons. I remember being a little kid when we lived in California and going to see the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And I remember the insane intensity of that was the first time I'd ever been in I think a ballpark like that, and where the Dodgers plays big stadium.
Yep.
So I still have a vivid memory. I can still smell the hot dog. I can still hear the people yelling. I remember there was a woman that sat in front of us. And I was 6. I can remember.
Unbelievable.
So I remember that being like the lights and like this is crazy. So I do remember that. I would say the world, of course, Super Bowl, first one that we won. That was you can't ever forget that. I also remember like Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I remember I have some memories of like watching Mike
we
Tyson.
grew up in the same town as Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
So
he
we-
Yeah, I remember
he
you were
trained.
saying that.
We kind of knew
That's crazy.
him.
He was
we knew
around
him
town all
when
the time.
he was. Well, we didn't know him, but we knew of him.
Yep.
He dated a friend of mine for a little while, Chiquita Phillips.
You guys are probably the same age right now, right?
Mike's a year or two older than me, maybe a year or two. I don't remember. I see him occasionally when he was getting ready for the Olympics.
Wow.
He was training with Cust in Albany sometimes, but mostly in the Catskills. But we used to. I worked at Crossgates Mall, the movie theater that we talked about,
Right.
and he used to come into the movie theater pretty regularly. And at first, he'd come in, and every now and then, someone would be like, "Hey, that's that crazy?" Because the thing, Mike Tyson's not a tall man. Mike Tyson is a couple inches shorter than me, but back then.
He had a
What does that
reputation.
mean?
Well, I mean, I'm 5'9", a little over
He had a
5'9",
reputation.
but he had a
I'm 5'7".
reputation.
Our neighbor that lived near us in in
Albany police officer.
He was a cop down in Albany, and he said like people would say, "Oh, watch out, the Tyson
that kid's there."
'cause he would like knock out cops and stuff.
Yeah,
And
he
they'd,
was
like,
an
shoot
he was an
up.
animal.
God.
Yeah, he was. They knew everyone knew him, but he would come into the Crossgates Mall, and then and at first it was like, oh, that's that kid who was in the Olympics, and then it was like all of a sudden he couldn't come to the mall anymore because every single person in the world recognized him. But he would still come occasionally. I remember one time he came in with a fur coat. It wasn't cold out. And he had a big gold chain on, and he had a full-length fur coat.
That's fantastic.
And I was like, oh, and he went into the movies. But he was always hot, and he was always nice. He's like,
He was always hot.
hi.
Well,
Well, he
hot
probably would.
shit.
But no, he would always say hi. He's like, hey man. Like, oh, wow. It's very unique. The voice that comes out of him does not match. Well, and the other thing, too, is if you see him in person, back then, he was a barrel. He was he was so massively chested in his arms. Like, he looked like his Nintendo character cartoon. Like, he was just he was kind of skinny-legged with these this massive shoulders and, like, muscles. And you could see him he was built like a pit bull. It was amazing. But so I have to say that was a really strong memory.
So it's number 2.
That was number 3. Oh, that was number 3. I don't know, 4 and 5. I don't know. I mean, they've got so
Funny
many.
for me, like my sports memories aren't really like team sport memories.
Really?
Because I mean, we always watch I scratched that a little bit. Like I have a vivid memory of watching Phil Simms and Mark Bavaro and the New York Giants with Bill Parcells when we were younger, and
Some
in
great
Albany.
memories there.
I just remember that like blowing me away. But that really wasn't. Other than that, I was never like I always enjoyed team sports, but like I remember we were skiers when we were younger, like snow skiers, and there was a guy. What was that guy's name that went off the track? And
Johnson.
Yeah.
Downhill skier.
He like was this amazing guy that like somehow doing this like downhill slalom went off the course, came back and still won. And he was
Won a
like this
gold medal.
crazy maniac, and I just remember being like, "That's incredible! This one guy can do this." And then
I can't
my
remember his
next
name.
sort of thought was like when Tony Hawk was doing those like those like incredible whatever 980s. Forgive me for not knowing the math, but
Right.
I just remember being so blown away
360s.
by like here's this kid that's like can just do these incredible feats on his skateboard,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then obviously over the past years, the
New England
just,
sports.
just the comeback with Atlanta, like come on, that's one of the greatest moments in sports history. Remember watching the whole first half of that game, being so
like, this
depressed
is terrible.
and so sad, and then all of a sudden,
We're gonna lose.
how's this happening? What's happening? What's going on? Literally jumping. And Sean and I are in his living room, just like jumping around, like, oh my God,
What's going on?
They came back.
Absolutely the most emotional of all the Super Bowls.
Unbelievable.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like it takes you on a roller coaster, right? You go from the lowest of the low to the highest of high, winning the Super Bowl in overtime while completing the comeback was.
And the team that you're just so invested in, and you love all the members, you love everybody there. Like you just.
Ken said his great-grandfather took him to one Red Sox game a year, and that he always thought Bob Montgomery was the best ever as he hit a home run every game he took him to.
Whoa.
Who's Bob? I don't know who Bob Montgomery is.
I remember that name on the team, yeah.
He's got to be much older, I'm sure.
I definitely don't know enough about
the Red Sox roster.
Yeah, the
I mean,
history
the
of
Cat's
most
favorite sports moment
famous
is Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan at
Who's
WrestleMania
that?
3. Cat.
Oh.
Andre and Hulk. I saw
90,000 people they sold out the Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I never saw it, but I remember that it happened.
You know what?
I
would
had.
say, I think now that you say it, Patriots, Falcons.
Oh my God, come on.
That was one of the most
Of
insane
all
games
time ever.
Insane games
Of all
ever.
time ever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it is, how do you top that?
So here's another question. Would you switch out any of the Super Bowls they won for a different one?
I'm not sure I get the question.
So, like, for instance, they lost 3.
Yeah.
All right, but they won 6, so they can still end with 6. Take one of the losses, make it a victory.
Yeah.
Take one of the victories, make
Definitely.
it a loss.
We should have beat the Giants.
Exactly. That's like.
There's a couple things. The freaking stupid helmet catch.
There's a helmet catch.
So that's
and
the
then
biggest
like,
regret
I
I have.
would-
Like we really, I
almost any
felt
of
like
them.
we won that game. You know what I mean? Like it didn't. The chips didn't go the right way. Now, granted, as Patriots fans, we have also gotten a couple of really good breaks, right?
Oh my
the
God.
tuck rule bullshit. We honestly, let's say we love the Patriots, but that was bullshit.
I mean, it was called perfectly. I don't know what you mean. That is the rule, and the flag should have been thrown.
And the stuff during the Snow Bowl, that we got some good calls and some good breaks in some of those games.
Absolutely.
And so we also got some against us as well.
So had they won, I would have probably given up the Rams Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The last one probably was sweet and all because, again, you have the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah, the
and
time.
Brady leaving, and he ends with 6. But
Yeah.
man, if they could have won that Giants Super Bowl, it really
I have to be honest. I really still have not
It hasn't
fully grasped the concept that Brady's not.
Well,
here.
it was only a week before this happened, right?
I know.
He
Like,
announced it a
literally
week
felt like
before
we put
COVID.
the whole world on pause, and like the whole concept that Tom Brady's not going to be playing.
20 years
I
of
haven't-
watching Patriots
I haven't
football.
I haven't absorbed that yet.
And we won't until Jared Stidham's playing Week 6 and
Well, the other day,
they're 2-6, and you're like, or 2-4, whatever the math is, and
Yeah.
you're like, what the hell's going on?
I saw,
And it'll be an empty
I saw,
stadium.
Last season, yeah.
Something on one of the news channels the other day, and they showed a Patriots player, and I was like, "Oh, is that the new quarterback?"
Who is the-
Well,
I
it's
don't know.
not.
Yeah.
But I don't even know who or what he looks like. I know nothing about it. I haven't put any thought into it at all.
Well, they're already saying now that there's very likely going to, if they play at all, they're very likely going to play at empty stadiums for the whole season.
Well,
They said they're going to lose $5 billion.
They called the Dolphins to see how that feels.
Trying to figure out how to play in an empty stadium. They call it the Browns.
So wait, are we still talking about restaurant stuff? Where are we? I feel
Where
like we're on
are
a
we?
sports show all of a sudden.
I know. Well, I just wanted to.
Well,
bring
we
up
are. So we have a rule here.
Yeah. Only sports.
Only sports on the TV, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless, of course, there's some crazy thing. But
well, like Rickey
99.9%.
Durant, we put on Rickey
Yeah, we
Durant
put on
that
Rickey.
night when he played.
Well, that's
Yeah,
a
like
little
that
bit
sort of thing,
different.
right? But otherwise, like we don't have news shows in here.
No.
We want
So-
sports and any sport. We have fishing sometimes.
as
We
of
have car
today,
shows.
May 20th, we still don't have 100% vision as to what the government's
No,
thinking for the
we
restaurant
don't.
industry.
No one knows.
But if it continues down this path, it's probably we're looking at June 9th, June 8th.
June 8th is the next
8th.
date for Phase 2 if everything goes well in Phase 1.
There's
Yeah.
a new letter going around that's been endorsed by a whole bunch of people that is talking
A whole
to Charlie
ton of
Baker,
friends and industry people that I know
about somewhere sooner than that.
Yeah.
for certain things, maybe.
So that went in today. That was signed, and then there's a new government package that's just got put into. Passed.
It's out there for.
It's not a. They're not talking about it as like a stimulus. They're talking about it as a stabilizer.
Yeah.
So it's a much longer, drawn out process that is looking to help. It's specifically for the restaurant industry, So it was just filed today.
Yeah, I think just brought it to the floor or whatever.
Yeah, so
federally.
Well, that would be huge. I mean, I think for our industry, it should be treated a little differently.
Yeah, well,
yeah. I mean, it's one of those businesses where the margins are super small, and you're dealing, I think, with a magnitude of people. I mean, this is a hotbed for people to congregate, a place where if we are not doing our job, or we could be a problem for COVID. You know, so I think they need to take it.
I mean, it's going to be grim. So I read an article today. So Performance Food Group, Cisco, U.S. Foods, some of the largest food distributors in the country, if not the world. The heads of those companies, the presidents, CEOs, and so on, got together, and the head of PFG said their group of experts have gotten together, and best case scenario, 25% of restaurants are gone already. And that means, like, when this is over, they already know 25% are never opening again.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, that could be 40 to 60%.
It's unbelievable.
And in certain areas, like New York City and places, it could just be devastating.
And it's an alarming rate already. I mean,
every day we see
another. This group's going out for good. This group's
huge
going out.
ones.
I mean,
David Chang's restaurants.
He closed D.C. and New York.
Yep.
I mean,
Vegas restaurants are going to just plummet. I mean, those are going to be gone. All those famous signature restaurants, like Colicchio's Place and Bobby Flay's Place, they're going to close down.
You know, and again, and if they don't, you know, who's going? You know, is it people who are just fed up and saying, you know what, I'll take my chances with COVID? Is it, you know, can you blame those people?
No.
You know, I think there's. With Vegas, I think we all look at it like they all have money and stuff, but there's so many people who are
so blue collar,
put their life savings into a business.
Yeah. Who
have waited for the absolute right moment, opened up in, let's say, January, and then this happened to them, and it completely has crushed them. There are so many stories out there like that, and not necessarily the restaurant industry.
Well, every industry.
Yeah, but restaurant industry.
The thing that I was happy about with seeing this legislation was that it was specific to our industry.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not perfect, and I'm sure there's things that need to be worked out. But the fact that there's someone saying, okay, here's a specific industry that needs a specific focus.
Yeah.
Because it's different than all the others, and it's the number one employer in the country. All the restaurant industry
employs more
guys,
people than.
If our bar was open tomorrow, how many of you would come down and sit at the bar? Would you want to come and sit at the bar like right off the bat, or are you guys waiting for us to have? Do you need sneeze guards? Do you need protection? And not necessarily it's up to you. I mean,
right. No,
this is just
if it was there.
I want to see what the appetite is for people to go out back to a bar.
If you and the person that you come with sit 2 seats, and then there's 6 feet of space at least till the next 2 people, and the bartender really can't touch your drink necessarily. You have to put on gloves and wear a mask, and that's what I mean. This is too close.
Well, we're about 6 feet.
Yeah, we are. If you can't touch fingers, you're 6 feet. So we're 6 feet. Well, even we are 6 feet. So it looks weird on camera, but look, we're not. We're actually 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
And again, we're together all the time, so this is kind of our pod. But the bartender has a sneeze guard in front of them, so it's like
which makes sense,
right? We're talking about, and we know places that are doing this, but a plexiglass that comes up to here all the way around here. But does that even really work? Because when you breathe and it goes up and around, and so we don't know. And I think that's part of the unknown. How do you get people inside?
Yeah.
So.
What is the real solution? And you're either going to, unfortunately, it's either you're going to just have to say, the hell with everything, and jump in, or you're going to have to not open up at all. I don't understand, nor do I believe in the in between there, because think the in between
is really tough.
I think it was proven in the last couple of months it doesn't really work because cases
the
are
business
still spiking.
Can't run either.
So exactly. So
we got
one or the other.
We need to shift to again, totally just my opinion. With my wonderful medical background. I think we need to shift. I think we need to shift to a future where people that know they're at risk need to do everything they can to be vigilant to stay safe.
John has a good idea. He said outdoor parking lot tiki bar.
Yes, exactly.
That sounds like a good time.
Great idea.
I like that.
I love that. I wish.
Yeah.
We should.
But the rest of the people that are lower risk need to go out and figure it out.
John, I think we're going to take that idea and run with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which John is that? Who's
John Nickerson.
Oh, yes. Thanks, John.
So we'll see. No one's done this before. I mean, since medieval times, and they didn't shut down restaurants then.
You mean no one's been through a pandemic?
Yeah, like this. I mean, we did have the Spanish flu, but again, I don't know. Restaurants were not like they are now. I mean, think about it. We think of restaurants are part of most people's lives every week.
Yeah.
They've become inexpensive enough and easy enough to access that you can take your kids out to eat once a week. And I mean, they've just become very reasonable. You know, back then it was not like everyone went out to dinner 5 days a week in order to take out. You know, it was more of a special thing.
I heard a really cool story, and I don't know if I'm going on too long or whatever. You can shut me up. But when I was just driving the food around a little bit before, I heard an NPR story about there were 3 astronauts that were up at the space station when COVID was when the lockdown happened.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're the only 3 people in the whole world that are completely, or in the whole universe that we know of that are completely immune at the moment. And they said it was really bizarre. It was just an interesting story, like the way they
something they
changed
didn't have
their
to worry
entire
about at all.
perception.
Yeah.
And they talked about a few other times in history where people were like in the space station at really bizarre times, like the astronaut that was there during the 9/11.
Yep.
And like it's just like it's just some interesting. That has absolutely nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
No. Whatever.
No, but it's cool still.
Just a lot of
Tim says growler fill-up station. Well, Tim, we already have growlers.
Yep. So we can do growlers
fill them up
now.
right here for you.
Now, again, we're not allowed to take used glass yet.
No, not yet.
So
I
you
like
got to
the
buy.
idea though, just having like a fountain that runs. You just go up and, Tim, I think you're onto something. There's something perfect.
Well, we were at that place in Rhode Island that you buy the beer before you go in, and they
the G Pub.
Yeah, the G Pub. You rent
really
a room.
Cool. They had these like karaoke.
Pay
rooms.
as you drink.
Yeah, no, you buy it ahead of time, and they just dial in the number of drafts you get, and you get your own tap in the.
And you go. It's like a karaoke room with a tap.
You rent the room, and you get the beer.
And it just has a little counter. It just keeps track of how much beer you have.
And then they bill you.
It was fun.
So, like, I can see vending machines outside with a press a button.
I just grew up with way too many people who are like conspiracy people. They'll be like, no, you can't. Like, they're gonna overcharge you. How do I know it was the right amount? You know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's why gas pumps are clear originally. Because gas pumps never needed to be, they had the big tank of gas that would go into your, because when you put the gas in your tank and pull the button, we're fine now. You trust that. We have the weight and measure sticker, right? But old gas pumps had the big clear glass up top. So you'd pump the gas into that, and then it would go down through the tube into your tank. So you'd sit in your car, you'd say, like, yes, I actually got that much gas, because no one trusted it.
That's funny.
Completely unnecessary step. It didn't need that ever. They had to go back and add
That's why they should make shaker glasses clear.
Yes.
Is that the right amount of vodka?
Well, and let's not even get into wine glasses, right? I mean, my goodness.
Yes, we are live now, but unfortunately, I think this is at the end of the show. So
yeah. But we've gone through a great suburban experiment here with wine glasses.
Absolutely.
We put the exact same amount of wine in 3 different glasses, and some customers are like, "Wow, that's a really nice glass of wine." Other people are like, you guys are cheap. Right. It's the exact same amount, but if you don't get it up over the rim of the glass,
there's always something to that, man. I know people who don't use the jiggers.
Just gotta pre-pour.
Please. And I might even.
They always think they're gonna get
right. They always think they're gonna get a better deal.
Yeah.
Every single time.
All right.
That was fun. What else we have to talk about?
What other random stuff?
Well, someone made a comment said there's been a surge in speakeasies in Boston, underground bars,
of course,
like in Prohibition.
Yeah, well, that's gonna happen somewhere.
Well, I mean, something's got to give, right? I mean, these guys, it's either eat or open up a speakeasy, and it's funny,
don't say it
but
out loud.
It might be a real thing. Like some people are struggling
you need the secret knock
to make some money.
Yeah, absolutely.
What would the knock be?
I don't know. We gotta come up with.
Lynn Johnson says, "Sean, you need to go on Jeopardy. You know a bit of everything." I think you should too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't mind. I don't watch. I used to watch Jeopardy occasionally, but that's.
We talked about Jeopardy the other day.
I know. Jeopardy
I'm
comes
signing you up.
Yes. Yeah. Send in the tape.
I'm going to sign you up just like the time I signed you up for that like Christian Mingle site.
That's great.
All right. On that note, guys,
all right.
Great seeing you. Have a great night.
Peace. Good night.
Good night.
We'll see you tomorrow.